Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Monday, November 13th, and we have a little more active weather coming up here, especially as we get through the week. And again, that looks like it'll start Wednesday with our first system that'll come through. This will be primarily a rain event on the northwestern portions of the area. On the back side of the storm, we can see a little bit of snow, and that looks like we'll warm up out ahead of a very significant storm that's going to really intensify over the Great Lakes as we get into later on the day on Friday through the weekend. And we could see some very high winds with that system, and some of those could knock out power across portions of the state. And again, looks like for today, though, some clouds and fog and drizzle this morning with maybe mainly just clouds later on. And again, as we get into the day on Wednesday, it looks like our next chance of rain will move in, and then another bigger system for Friday. And again, we're going to watch that system Friday very closely. And behind that, some very cold air will come in with some snow showers that could bring at least some lake effect accumulations, possibly well inland as the weekend progresses. And you can see yesterday, being a Sunday, was still quite busy around here. I was hopping around with lots of trucks. We picked up about 45,000 bushels in 4 hours from 8 o'clock until we closed at noon. So very brisk day out there. And if we look at the climate data for today, our normal high is 46, the normal low is 29. And you can see yesterday we had a high of 38, a low of 32. With just a trace of precipitation. You can see, though, since midnight, some light accumulations of rainfall off into the eastern portions of the state into southwest Ontario, with Brown City leading the way at just under 1/10 of an inch. Currently outside, you can see temperatures are very uniform, with lots of clouds, drizzle, and fog out there. Temperatures primarily in the mid-30s. And if we look at across the conditions across the state this morning, again, very consistent temperatures with that cloud cover. Temperatures mainly in the 30s. And again, I would just count that 23 degrees here in Ionia County, most likely an old reading, as I just can't imagine that they've all of a sudden cleared out and became that cold. I think probably mid-30s there as well. And if we look at the radar out there, you can see most of the activity well off to our south and east. And again, looks like we shouldn't see much in the way of any precipitation here until we get in the day on Wednesday. And again, there could be some light drizzle out there with that fog and the dew points pretty close to the temperature out there. And if we look at the weather map, as we get in today, you can see that system off to the south that's bringing rain up and down the east coast. And again, maybe a few light mixture of rain and snow across the northern portions of the state. But we'll wait on the system coming in from the west. And as that thing begins to get developed, we'll see a warm front develop on that, and that'll help push some overrunning precipitation into the state, with rain, maybe even a few thunderstorms off in the southern portions of the state back into the plains, with just primarily rain across much of the Great Lakes. A little bit of mixture as you get towards the western UP back into the Arrowhead of Minnesota. And then finally, as we get through the day on Wednesday morning, that front will be approaching the area. That'll bring us a good chance of rain again through Wednesday night, maybe even into early Thursday before we dry out. And then we'll see our next system begin to move off from the western coast. This one, again, is going to link up with the southern system, and it's going to be a pretty strong one. And as it moves to the northeast across somewhere here in the Great Lakes, we expect that baby to really intensify. And again, like we talked about a few weeks ago with the storm, we're going to want to watch the barometric pressures if you got a home barometer, as we can see those really deepen, and as that storm really gets cranked up as it approaches the Great Lakes. And that'll bring some pretty high winds as well with it. And again, over the next 7 days, you can see the heaviest precipitation east of the Mississippi is going to be right here in the Great Lakes. And again, that storm intensifying, bringing more and more rain as it heads off to the north. And we'll also watch for a pretty significant lake effect event, possibly late next weekend. As far as the next slide goes, you can see some of the previous years as we track the snow through the season. And again, we're getting some of these things ready, as we know that snow is not too far away. Right now, sitting at 1/10 of 1 inch of snow so far for the year, so we haven't really begun yet, but won't be long. And if we look at the 10-day GFS, you can see it's trying to put down some snow across much of lower Michigan. The European, a little less aggressive, so we'll take this with a grain of salt. But certainly lots of snow in Canada is laying the framework for some very cold air that no doubt will be coming into the Great Lakes here as we get towards the next couple of weeks. Once we get past this week, it looks like a much colder pattern indeed. As far as the forecast goes, you can see today a little overdone with that, mainly just some drizzle, clouds, highs maybe around 40. Lows around freezing tonight, and then we'll be up in the mid 40s for a couple of days. And Wednesday that rain moves in. A dry day on Thursday, but then more rain later on Friday, and that could have a lot of wind beginning with it right into Saturday. And again, there is a chance that these winds could be strong enough where we may see some power outages across the state. So we'll be watching this storm here all week long. As far as weather watch this morning, not a whole lot going on, just mainly fog advisories off to our southwest, back in towards the Dakotas. And again, we're highlighting this in red. This is my highlight here. For the potential across the Great Lakes of some strong winds as we get towards very late in the week into the weekend. And again, we'll follow that storm all week long. Thanks for stopping by, and have yourself a great day, a great work week, and 73s to all.